Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at how to finish the outside edge of your quilled letter. If you notice here, I've finished off this whole outside edge, and the yellow paper goes all the way around the edge on all of the edges. I've also included those decorative swirls that go around that I drew on my paper there, and those pieces are what's going to add that extra something to your artwork that's going to make it look really nice. So to get started, you're going to be looking for just simple strips like this, and you're going to be looking for how you can include those onto your letter. Here I take one piece of paper and I twirl it around to make a quilling shape. Then I readjust the coil with my pin tool, and you're going to have to readjust it with your pin tool or with your hands like I do right there, kind of manually, so that it can fit some of those decorative shapes you've made. As soon as you get that kind of figured out, what you're going to do is you're going to glue that piece down, as well as take the leftover paper and glue it onto the outside edge of your shape. So if you look here, I take my pin tool and I kind of dribble it onto that outside, or onto the design there with the very tip of my tool. Then I lay that down and kind of make sure it's going to fit. And then I think, all right, this is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to put glue on the bottom of these quilled shapes right here, here, and all the way down to there. So I kind of take the edge of my pin tool and slide that glue on those shapes, being careful to make sure there's not too much, but that there's enough that it's going to stick. And then I hold the little coil here in place with my finger, wrap that extra little piece of paper around, and lay it right along the outside edge there. I do have to take some time to just carefully readjust it, make sure it's looking just like I want it to look, so that that whole piece is on there correctly. If you have some little bit that's hanging over, just take your scissors and snip it. Mine worked out nicely, but if it doesn't, just snip it to the right size. Okay, so to finish off, I do this last piece up here in this coil on the top just to do one more part of it. So I take that first piece, I coil it up, readjust the coil, I put the glue on, I put the glue on the sides there, and then I set the strip down and have it looking something like that. And then I do need to end up cutting this edge off. I kind of readjust it, and actually this one I take and I bend it like that rather than cut it. I grab a little bit of glue, set it on the side there, and actually glue that leftover piece onto the previous piece. It's going to make it a little bit stronger. It's going to make it a little bit better, rather than just having those pieces separate from each other. Okay, so in this video I continue where I left off, and I take the glue and I kind of glue all the way along that outside edge. All right, and then I bend the paper along the inside, and I actually make it curl up into this coil that I've got there from my previous piece. All right, and then I lay this one and coil it and glue it down to this bottom coil. All right, so that I've got this one piece coming all the way along the top that also gets glued down there. And then here I just trim it off a little bit, slide that edge around so that it's really nice and sticks together well. So you can see that ledge there now. All right, then I kind of continue, and I'm just, for the sake of time, I glue the edges, I glue that part, I swirl it, I bend the edges, and here on this piece I really take the time to bend this corner first, bend that corner next, so that those pieces are bent in the right place. I set it aside, you can kind of see the bends on it, so that as I add that extra glue on, I can then take that piece and just shove it right in there, and I know that it's going to work really well. All right, and you can kind of see how I'm holding the page there, so you can see me just spread that glue right along. And what you want to do is you do want to get the glue on there nicely, spread it around, I cut it, I trim it, and I put glue on each one of those, so I have that side done. And I do the other inside, wrap the paper around there, and then do the outside here with that last little shape, and I glue that piece on so it looks like that one. I'm done. Okay, now I kind of take the time to add one last shape right along that bottom edge and make the little coil down at the end and finish it off so that it looks like that. Okay, so when you're done, you're going to make sure that you get all those little extra coils glued together. You've got the decorative swirls on. You've got all the paper around the outside edges. Clean up your pin tool so that your pin tool is nice. Kind of rub it down on your sponge so it looks like nice and clean and it gets put away. And that is how your quilled letter should be finished, with the strip going all the way along the outside edge.